This is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Sadi Dalid, and we're holding at the bottom of Sadi Gimel Amid Beis, in the middle of the long and lengthy discussion. What exactly happened with the descendants of Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah? What happened with Nebuchadnezzar, etc. Once again, the learning has been dedicated as an incredible schos Rafua Shlema for Tinaik Mrim Ahuva, the incredible Kayach HaTaira. The schos HaTaira should bring Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva a complete refuah shalima. So says the Gemara Bishlam, holding 10 lines to the bottom, we said have. Says have behu. Says the Gemara Bishlam, it makes sense. The mandam are serisa mamish. So we have a machlekes what exactly Nebuchadnezzar did. Were they actually serisim? They made them a stress. They couldn't have children, or it was nistar savadazar b'meyam, or was it the fact that there was not a physical mutilation, but rather there was the fact that they espoused avodah. So if you're going to tell me it's physical, it makes sense. The pasuk that says yad v'shem toiv mibanim mibanais, and concludes the pasuk toiv mibanim mibanais. It's a memorial. It's better than sons and daughters. Then it makes sense that it's talking about the actual castration, serisim mamish, who cannot actually have children. That it means different of the zara. My time what exactly does the pasuk mean? You know what it means? Mibanim shalem kvar means the children they had already, umesu, and died. Says the Gemara, "My shem alim etin lacha etein loy." What is the meaning of the pasuk that says "Shem alim etin asher loy yika reis"? Rav Tancham Darshar Kapara B'Tipayri Zeh Sefer Daniel Shenikra Al Shemai. This is referring to Sefer Daniel, which is named after him. And that's what it means that he had a Shem Olam, an everlasting name. So says the Gemara. So now we understand why Daniel was named after Daniel. But says the Gemara, Mechli, Kol Mili de Ezra, Nechemia, and Chaklaya Amrinu. All the words of Ezra, the Sefer Ezra and Tanakh, was authored by Nechemia and Chaklaya. Nechemia and Chaklaya, my time lo ikri Sefrai al Shemai. What is the reason that Nechemia didn't write the book after his own name? You know why? Because he took credit for his achievements. Shenemar, Zachra Aliyah Lekela Taiva. Remember me, my God, for good. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? David HaMelech did the same thing, but David Nami Meimer Amar. David HaMelech did the same thing. Amar Zachedesh Eberzayin Amcha Bagdini B'Yeshua Asecha. Says the Gemara, said David HaMelech, remember when you favor your people, think of me at your salvation. Says the Gemara, no, David wasn't really trying to pump himself up, but rather, David Rachmim Utikabayi, David HaMelech is davening for Rachmim. Rabbi Yosef Amar Mnesha Siber, Beganoisen Shal Rishayim. You know why he says, Rabbi Yosef, a different answer, or Nechemia. Why Nechemia was punished? Says Rabbi Yosef, because he spoke, Beganoisen, disparagingly, Shal Rishayim. What is that? Shenemar v'abachaisi rishonim shelefanai hechbidu Allah. That earlier governors before me, they burdened the people. Vayichu mehem b'lechem v'yayin, and took them in the form of bread and wine. B'lechem v'yayin echad kesef shkalim arbayim achar kesef shkalim arbayim. V'af Daniel, even Daniel himself, shegadol mimenu, who was greater than him, Siber, did he speak? We know how do we know? I saw by myself the Mara, the vision, Hanashim, the people that are with me, so were these but they ran away into hiding. And the men that were with me, lo ra'u as hamara. Says the Gemara, Mainin hu anashim. Who are these people that were together with Daniel? Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah b'Tamer Achiv Rabba Zeh Chagai Zechariah and Malachi. So we turn over to Sabach Daled Amar Aleph, says the Gemara. Inhu adiv minay, v'ihu adiv minayu. Chagai Zechariah Malachi were greater than him, or greater than Daniel. But on another hand, Daniel himself was greater than Chagai Zechariah and Malachi. They were greater than him. They knew Navi Navi. They were Naviim and he was not. But he was greater than what? He saw the vision and they did not see the vision. Says the Gemara, but if they did not see this vision, what is the reason that the were afraid? Says the Gemara, even though they did not see it, their mazel saw it, which is an internal fright that we can see is shaykh. That's the mazel, that even with their physical eyes, they didn't see something, but internally, they're able to feel such a struggle and such a challenge. Amar Ravina Shvam, I meant the mavis. Says Ravina, if someone is ever afraid of sometimes one will have a fright and he won't know why, where it came from. Says the Gemara, even if he did not see it, his mazel saw it. Says the Gemara, but if that's the case, that he's not actually seeing something, but he feels frightened and threatened, what should he do? He should jump from his place for Garmidi. And what should he do? For if he's in a place that he cannot say Shema, what would he say? He should say, the goats in the slaughterhouse are fatter than I, and basically talking to the Shaitim and Mazalais to leave him alone. Says the Gemara, continuing Bar Kapara. Now we're going to move on to King Chizkiyahu in Malchus Yehuda. Says the Gemara, Lemarbe HaMisra L'Shalom Ein Kitz. Let's understand a bit about these wonderful stories, and about Malchus and Chizkiyahu. So the pasuk says, Lemarbe HaMisra, to one who increases L'Shalom Ein Kitz, and for him the peace without any end. Amar Rav Tanchum Darish Bar Kapara B'Tzipari. What is the reason every mem in the middle of the word is open, a regular mem? For this mem, limarbe esasam, the way that it's written is that the mem in limarbe is like an ensayfis. It's closed. Says the Gemara, you know why? Because Hashem wanted to make Chizkiyahu Mashiach, who said Chayrev, Goygu Magoyik. It said Chayrev was going to be Chizkiyahu's enemy. It said Chayrev, who was Chizkiyahu's enemy, was being Goygu Magoyik. Amra, Midas said Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Be'er Shalom Adav in Melech Yisrael. Shamar Kama Shirav Zishbachos Lefanecha Lo Yasitu Mashiach. You're going to make him Mashiach. Chizkiyahu Shasitu L'Kol Nisim Halalu V'Lamer Shira by Chizkiyahu HaMelech. You did so many Nisim. And what? He did not say Shir Levanecha Taseu Mashiach. You're going to make Chizkiyahu Mashiach Lakach Nistatim. Therefore, the letter Mem in the Marbe is closed off. Says the Gemara, so Hashem decides that Chizkiyahu is not going to be Mashiach. Miyad Pascharetz Amr Lefanov. The earth opens up and argues and says, Rebbeinu Shalaylam. Ani Omer Levanecha Shira Tachas Sadik Zeh V'Asov Mashiach. Says the earth, I don't understand. I said Shira to you in the place of Chizkiyahu. I mean, even though Chizkiyahu didn't say Shira, but says the earth, I said Shira. Tasel Mashiach, make him Mashiach. Pascha v'Amar Shir Lefanav. So that the earth says, I said, I will say. So the earth opens up and says Shira Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Miknaf Haaretz. Zemira Shamanu Tzvila Tzadik V'Goymer Amar Sar Ho'ilam Lefanov. This means that the minister of the world says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and of course, what exactly it means that the earth is talking. Now it's a Malach talking. Rabbeinu Shalaylam says to Hashem, Tzivyoinai Asei Latzadik Zeh. Tzivi, fulfill the wishes of this tzaddik, Chizkiyahu Mashiach. Yatza Baskal v'amra Baskal goes out and says, Razili, Razili. Says the Baskal, it's my secret. Says Hashem, I know, and only I know. But I'm not going to make Chizkiyahu Mashiach. Says the Gemara Amar Navi. Until we hear that Mashiach's not coming, the Navi says, Oili, Oili. And Motzei Yosef Baskal v'amra. How long is the Baskal gone out and said, Bagadu Baigdim Bagadu Ubeged. One more time. Baigdim Bagadu Ubeged Baigdim Bagadu. That treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Very, very treacherous. V'amarav v'tem Rav Yitzchak. Dasa buzi ubebuzi debabuzi. Says Rava, the name of Yitzchak, Adasa bavzaizi, until the plunderers have come, ubazaizi bazaizi, they're plundered by plunderers, the earth, the world bemoaning the unfortunate, missing the opportunity of Mashiach. Continues the Gemara, Masa daime ilai kaira miseir. Says the Basik, a harsh prophecy of Daima when he calls him Seir, saying, Shomer ma milayla, Shomer ma milail. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? This is the Malach that is appointed over the Ruchais, the spirits, Daima Shemai. His name is Daima. Niskabsu kol ha-Ruchais etzel Daima. All the Ruchais are assembled and gathered before Daima. Amrulai, they say to him, Shamar ma milayla, Shamar ma malil. They say, watch from one of the night, Shomer ma malil. Amr Shomer, says the Shomer, Asa baiker v'kam layla. The Shomer says, morning come and so as night in Tavayun, Bayu. If you seek Hashem, you will seek the Mashiach. And of course, this pasuk we've had already. This was the source of Maveh, the source that of Adam Hamazik, a man, is Maveh, that Bayu. What is the definition of man? It is that he is Bayu, he is a seeker, he davens. Continues the Gemara, okay? So what was the issue? Why Lemaisa did Chizkiyahu not receive the incredible charge to be Mashiach? Because after being redeemed from Sanhedrin, Chizkiyahu did not sing Shira. Says the Gemara Tana. Tana Misham Rav Bebayis, Kenayu Chizkiyahu v'siyata, in the first very well line. Shlayam Rashira, Achapas Chaaretz of Shira. It's Kenai. But Chizkiyahu did not see Shira until the earth said Shira. Shenamar. Says the Gemara. Similarly, we find that Moshe Rabbeinu Kiyetziv Adavar on the second white line. And we explain Tanu Misham Rav Abayis Kenayu LeMoshe V'Shishim Riboy Moshe Rabbeinu, and the 60 Mary is the 600,000 Yidin Shlamru Baruch Ad Shava Yisra V'Amra Baruch Hashem. That no one said Baruch until Yisra came and said Baruch Hashem. Continues the Gemara. Now that we're discussing Yisra, V'Yichad Yisra, and Yisra was V'Yichad, he rejoiced. Rav Shmuel, Rav Omer Shehever Cherev Chada Al Bisari, that a sword passed over his skin. He gave himself a bris milah. Shmuel Omer Shenaseh Chadudim Kol Bisari. Says Shmuel that his flesh become covered with chidudim, goosebumps, because he saw Mitzrayim being destroyed and he felt their pain. Amar Rav, in the fourth very wide line, Hainu Da'amri Inchi Giyura Arasara Dari Loisi Bazeh. A ger until 10 generations do not insult Arami Kamai. The Arami, the Gentile in front of him, we see that they still feel the pain. That even though it was Vayichad Yisrael, even though Yisrael at some level rejoiced, he still was sensitive to that which happened to the Mitzrayim. Continues the Pasukim back to Chizkiyahu HaMelech. Lachein yishlach Adam Hashem Tzavakos b'mishmanav Razain. Therefore Hashem shall send leanness into the fat ones. Says the Gemara, what does that mean? My Bishvan of Razam, what does that mean? Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Yam Chizkiyo. Sheyesh leishmainim shema is Chizkiyo that has 8 names. Yifram, he said, Chayev, and Obebek said, Chayev, Sheyesh leishmainim shemas. Chizkiyo, Tchsev Kiyel, Yulan Lanu, Ben, Nita and Lanu, Batia, Mr. Al Shechmai, Vikar Shemai, Pelo Yoyes El Gibar Aviad, Sar Shalom. I Vika Chizkiyo, Shechizkiyo, Tavaracher Chizkiyo, Shechizik Yisrael Avim Shabashayim. So those are the 8 names of Chizkiyo. So he should come and counteract Sanhedrin, Dechsivei, Tiglachach, Palasar, Palansar, Shamanasar, Pul, Sargoin, and As Napar. So Chizkiyo comes and counteracts Sanhedrin. Says the Gemara, Sanhedrin, Asnapar, Rabba v'Akira. I v'ika Sanhedrin, Shesiach Soyrev, that he does what is Sanhedrin, that his conversations are contentious, creates fights. Tavaracher, Shesach v'Gicher, Dvarim, Klape, Maila. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rav Yochanan. Says Rav Yochanan, we're about 10 lines from the bottom of the first line is Klape, Maila. Says Rav Yochanan, the Mazachai said Rashli Kroise Asnaper, Rava v'Akira, why do you get this 3-part name? May, Shaloi, Sibra Beganoisai, Shal Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar, Adbay Lakachti Eschem El Eretz, Ke'artzechem, because he says, until I come and take you to land that is like your land, he did not speak derogatorily about Eretz Yisrael. Says the Gemara, Ravu Shmuel, Chad Amar Melech Pikeach Haya, Chad Amar Melech Tipesh Haya. There's machlokes, was Sanhedrin wise, or was he a fool? The reason why he's considered wise, because Sanhedrin said, if I tell the Yidden that the land I'm going to send you into Galus is what? Adifa is greater Meraichu than your own land. Amru, what are they going to say? Kamishakris, you're lying. Nothing is greater than Eretz Yisrael. Mandar Melch Tibe Shayav, according to other Mandar, that Sanhedrin was acting like a fool. Imkein Mayra Abusam. What was Sanhedrin telling them? What was the advantage? What was he telling them? By telling them that there's no land that is better than where they are. So it continues the Gemara with the story that Sanhedrin the Maisa fails to conquer Shalayim, and he sends out the Malchus of Yehuda. But what did he yes do? And this, of course, one has to learn a little bit of Nach. He succeeded in conquering the Asara Shvatim and sending them to Gulf. So says the Gemara, where were the Asara Shvatim sent? Where were the 10 Shvatim exiled by Sanhedrin? Marzucha Amar, LaAfriki, Chanina Amar, LaHare, Saloik, the mountains of Saloik. Aval Yisrael, Sibru Beganois Yisrael. In as much that Sanhedrin did not, but says the Gemara, the Asara Shvatim, who went to Golus, they did unfortunately speak Beganoisai Shal Eretz Yisrael. Kimatu Sais. What was the Ganus that Klal Yisrael said? Kimatu Sais Amru. They said Kimatu Sais. They came to the land called Sais, Shoish. Amru Shava Kiarin. They said this land is Shaveh. It's equivalent to Eretz Yisrael. Kimatu Almin Amru. When they came to Almin, they said Amru Kalmin. The land is Almin like our land. Kimatu Sais Trey. When they came to a place called Sais Trey, Amru Al Chad Trey. This place is called because it's twice as good. So in as much as Sanhedrin did not, but unfortunately the Yidden did, Says the Gemara, but however, V'loi Kavoidei Mamish. Says the Gemara, in as much as Rav Yochanan said that, going all the way back, I skipped, V'tachas Kavoidei Yakad Yikoid Ki Yikoid Eish. Beneath his armor, there's an honor, there's a fire kindling. Amar Rav Yochanan, Tachas Kivoidai. Says Rav Yochanan, what does this mean? This means it's beneath his honor that only the soldiers were burned, but not their clothes. Says the Gemara, what does it mean, Tachas Kavoidai? That over here we just translate it means that their bodies were not burnt. Bodies were burnt, but not their clothing. But says the Gemara, V'loi Kavoidai Mamish. K'ad Rav Yochanan Karli Lamane Machbudasi. Rav Yochanan would call his clothing his honor. Whereas on the other hand, Rav Elazar Amar, 2 lines to the bottom, Tachas Kavoidei Mamish. Kisreifas b'nei Aaron, like the burning of the children of Aaron, that what? Malal and Shreva Neshama v'guf Kayin, that it burnt them internally. Avkan Shrevas Neshama v'guf Kayin. Says the Gemara, going back to the story of Sanhedrin, what exactly happened? What was the punishment? Talam Yeshua ben Karcha Paroi, Shechirev Ba'atzvei Paroi, who cursed out Hashem, Nifra Baruch Hu Mimenu. He did it personally, so then Hashem personally punished him. Ba'atzvei Sanhedrin, whereas it came to Sanhedrin, Shechirev, as we turn over to Sadidalan Mebeis Al Yedei Shliach, he didn't do it on his own. Nifra Baruch Hu Mimenu Al Yedei Shliach. Now the Gemara explains what we just said, this Chaltin Paro and Sanhedrin, in the different ways they acted inappropriately towards Hashem and their punishment. Says the Gemara, Paro he said on his own, never Kadosh Baruch Hu Menu Ba'atzvei Dechsev, Vaynar Hashem es Mitzrayim b'tochayam, Uksev de, can't read that word, excuse me, Uksev darachto bayam susecha. Whereas Sanhedrin that he said it all through a messenger, Nifra Kadosh Baruch Hu Mimenu Al Yedei Shliach. Techsev vayetze Malach Hashem v'yachma machne Ashur mea u'shmayna v'chamishim elef v'gomer 185,000 of the men of Ashur. So says the Gemara, we have Chizkiyahu, we have Yeshaya, they're davening that Sanhedrin's army can't destroy them. And what happened? There's an incredible nevuah foretelling the destruction of Sanhedrin. And in this nevuah, Hashem recounts all that Sanhedrin disgustingly boasted and mocked HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says the Gemara that there's 2 times that this nevuah is said over, one in Yeshaya, one in Malachim Beis. But there are minor nuances of difference. Explains the Gemara 12 lines from the top. Rav Chanina Bar Baba Rambi asks contradiction. Ksiv, the pasuk says, Miraim Kitzai, it's remote height. Uksiv, and the pasuk says, Miloim Kitzai. Explains the Gemara, what is the discrepancy of these psukim? Amar Isa Rasha Sanhedrin says, B'tchila achar is Dira Shalmata. First, I'm going to destroy the Dira Shalmata Rachman Etzlan of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'achar kach achar of Dira Shalmayla. Amar Rav Shimon Levi Meidach Sif. Says Rav Shimon Levi, another one of Sanhedrin's lines. What is the pasuk that says? Ata mavalad ata hamibal adi Hashem alisi al makoy mazeh lashchisai. Could it be without Hashem? I've come to a place to destroy it. Shem amar ilai alil arzazev eshchisa. So Mahi, what's going on over here? Says the Gemara, the Shama Navi de Kamar. Says the Gemara, said Chayrav heard the Navi Yeshaya say, Yan Kimos Hamazes Mi Ashiloyach Olchim Laat. The people rejected the Mei Ashiloyach that flowed freely, Umesaises Ritzin Uben Ramalyohu, and rejoices in Ritzin and Ben Ramalyohu. Therefore Hashem will be upon them. Says the Gemara, what's going upon this? So Amar Rav Yosef al Malei Targuma Daikra Lavi Yadan. If not for the Targum, we push it when I know what's going on in this pasuk. Maika Amar explains the Gemara. The Targum says Chalof Dikotz Amo Adid b'Malchusa Deveis David. The people despise the Malchus of David. Timidaber Lohain b'Nayich Kimei Shiloach Denagdin b'Noyich, which leads them gently like the waters of the Shlach that flowed freely. Vitraiu b'Ritzin ubar Ramalya, and they preferred the Malchus of Ritzin and the Ben Ramalya. So what do we see? We see that the Klal Yisrael were rejecting the Mei Shiloach. So says the Gemara, what's going on? Let's contrast the Malchus of Chizkiyahu and the Malchus of David HaMelech. We have Pekach ben Ramalya. Omer Rav Yechon explains Rav Yechon. Ma'idich sev ma'arois Hashem b'beis Rasha. Me'iras Hashem, the curse of Hashem b'beis Rasha u'nevei tzaddik yivarich. But Hashem will bless the tzaddik. Says the Gemara. Me'iras Hashem. What does it mean, the curse of Hashem b'beis Rasha? Zeh b'keach ben Ramalya. This is b'keach ben Ramalya. Shayaychel memsa. That what? When he finished the meal, he would eat memsa of what? Guys, like Mekinuach Suda, Memsa of young birds for dessert. On the first medium-sized line is what? He would eat a liter of vegetables as his entire meal. So says the Gemara, you see the contrast between the different malchios. So continues the Gemara on the first medium-sized lines. We have the Navi. Says the Gemara, again going back to the original attack against Sanhedrin, Hashem ma'ala aleihem esmei hanahar ha'atzom v'rabim es melech Ashur ukseh v'chalaf b'Yehuda shataf v'avar atzavar yagia. So says the Gemara, elamai taimi anish. If this is all true, so why is Sanhedrin punished? Hashem says, he said Sanhedrin to invade Yehuda. So what does Sanhedrin do? And it's a similar kasha we know by Paroi, that if he was told that he would fight Klal Yisrael, why is he punished? So explains the Gemara, you know why? The Navi Yeshaya was saying in Avua about the Aseres HaShvatim, not about the Malchus of Yehuda. Where Sanhedrin decided to conquer all of Yerushalayim. Meaning, the Nevuah, yes, said Sanhedrin will conquer, but to a limit, he overstepped his boundaries. But the Navi Yeshaya came and said Sanhedrin will not be successful, saying, there's no mu'af for the one who oppresses it. An am that is oyif, a nation that is wearied by Torah, that we got worn out from learning so much Torah, will not be given over to the hands of the one who oppresses it, to the hands of Sanhedrin. What is the meaning of the pasuk that says in the last narrow line, Naftali? The first time he was mild, that only Zvulun went and only Naftali went to Galus. But the last time was what? Hechbid. Hashem was more harsh. Derech Hayam, Oiver Hayardim, on the first very wide line. Galil HaGoyim explains that Gemara, like Rishonim, Sheikilu Ma'aleim, Ol Torah. Not like the earlier ones that lighten the yoke of Torah from upon themselves if they went to Galus. Avl Achrayim, Shechbidu Aleim Ol Torah. The Achrayim, that the opposite, they increase Torah. Urun Alalu Lasa Neis, they arrive for an Neis, Ka'ivri Hayam, Ukedarche Hayam, similar to those who go through the Yam and those who went through the Yarden. Em Chayzer by Mutaf. If Sanhedrin changes his mind, then great. If Sanhedrin doesn't change his mind, I'll make a mockery of the nations. So we see that it's true that at some levels Sanhedrin was indeed destined to conquer, but the fact that Sanhedrin overstepped his boundaries was the reason that he met his downfall. We're going to stop over here on the third very wide line, and we're going to continue in Mir the next year learning more about Melech, Chizkiyahu, etc.